Hi, there you are. Okay. Hi, Fiona. Welcome to our Skype Dialogues.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
really great to have you.
Good.
Fiona Murray is from Seattle originally, and she's currently living in New York City to finish her Bachelor of Arts degree in theater production and management in Marymount Manhattan College. She's also the office manager of Network for Peace, so she is my coworker. And this is our very first interview for Skype Dialogue, so it's really exciting. And Fiona was raised by environmentally conscious parents and have always felt a deep connection to the earth. So let us go further into that. Our first question would be, what inspired you to take action towards the betterment of this planet?
So I think what inspired me is both the deep connection that I have to the earth. I think it was just the way I was raised. I was always playing outside, all of that stuff. So I've always felt a sort of affinity for the earth. And also, what inspired me to actually take action on that, though, was the knowledge I have gained through my years in individual research, as well as discussing, talking with people, and taking classes that have given me knowledge about climate change and environmental issues. So I think what really inspired me to actually make changes, physical changes in my life, was the knowledge I had. But
Okay.
what initially got me to get that knowledge was the connection I feel to the earth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Fiona, by the way, I can edit this meeting, like some of the
Oh,
parts. So if
cool.
you need to take a break or anything, just let me know.
Cool.
Okay. So
It's working?
yeah, it's working perfect
Okay,
now.
good.
Yeah, I think the headphones, yeah. All right. So the next question would be, what would be your advice to someone who's just become recently awakened to our environmental crisis and someone who really wants to help out the earth? What would be their first smart step?
Okay. So that's an interesting question, because I think it's honestly different for everyone what they should first focus on or first do to make actual changes in their lives. I think what helped me the most was just gaining knowledge, getting education, doing individual research into particular interests of mine. So let's see. I think you have to find something you're really passionate about. So I think just going ahead and doing some research into maybe in the field you work in, possibly, or into products you use, specific a reason, a passion behind why you're making the changes will actually inspire you to continually make those changes,
Right.
work every day incrementally. So I think it's really just you have to find something that you're connected to. Because if you love driving your car, you're not going to stop driving your car right away. But if you, for me in theater, we try to, use recycled wood, or in our building, and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I was thinking of something for example, I have a friend who's really into makeup art. I guess that's a kind of art, and she doesn't want any chemicals to be in her makeup. So at the same time, if you want something that's natural and clean for your skin, that's natural and clean for the earth too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think if you want to make also, it's good to kind of make a living off of that too, because, you have that certain edge, maybe.
Yeah, it's actually a really big issue because the chemicals and everything, specifically on that issue, the chemicals and
Mm-hmm.
everything that we have in our makeup and our washes and all of that, it's really like it is impactful on the earth, but it's really impactful on us individually. It
Exactly.
benefits us just as much
Mm-hmm.
as it like benefits the earth, which kind of go hand in hand in my opinion, but
Yeah, it's taking care of
Mhm,
both than just thinking that you're taking care of yourself when you're actually just poisoning yourself,
mhm.
and you're poisoning the earth too. So it's like,
Yeah. You
you
should
know,
tell your friend to look up a blog called Beauty Lies Truth. It's a good blog
ooh,
on that
beauty lies
specifically.
truth.
Hmm.
Hmm,
Yeah.
cool, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
All right, so let's see, what's our next question? Do you think that technological advancement is detrimental to our Earth? And how can we use it to the environment's advantage?
That's a good question because we are at a point right now especially in places like the US where
Mm-hmm.
we rely on technology so heavily that uh, society would just break down if we didn't use technology in the ways that we do now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, obviously the Industrial Revolution, we started to be able to actually have the technology in order to harness and dominate the earth in
Mm-hmm.
the ways that we have. We've always, as humans, have had the drive to do that. People, even before the Industrial Revolution, did really impactful things on the earth, but they didn't have
Mm-hmm.
the capacity to damage the earth in the ways that we currently are and to the extent that we currently are until we had those technologies to do that. So
Right.
what I think we should have a positive view of technology, even though it has caused damage to the earth. It's all human created. So I think
Mm-hmm.
we just need to change our intent in how we are creating. And this goes right back to earth literacy in that, and our whole theme of the program is that human beings have a natural tendency to want to dominate the
Mm-hmm.
earth and to dominate in general, but we really need to shift our views and our thinking
Mm-hmm.
in how we create technology. So I think we should really have a positive view about technology, and I think that there's a lot of really good environmentally conscious technology out there that we can be using and implanting in much larger scales that we are. Obviously, it's going to take a while and be costly, and there's a lot of political and societal roadblocks. But I think
Mm-hmm.
we just need to, use renewable technologies, which we have, and are really cool, creative things that
Mm-hmm.
were made with the intent of living with the earth instead of dominating the earth. So,
Yeah. I think before we were talking about how right now, like, we are very much dependent on the internet, right?
yeah,
So a lot of people say that that is not a good thing, but at the same time, if it wasn't for the internet, we won't be having positive conversation like the ones that we're having
right.
right now, right? So I don't know. It's everything is a double-edged sword, like you mentioned earlier. Let's see. We just have to be very hopeful, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I think we just change the intent in how we're using technology.
yeah, exactly. So now let's transition to something more fun. So, if you were to, for example, if you were to give up something in your life, like three things that you could do without, that is also good for the environment, what do you think that would be?
Um, okay, I'm currently I just turned mostly vegetarian. So I'm proud to say I'm mostly living without meat right now.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. That's been like 2 months. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. So
I did not know that.
I'm still eating fish. Uh,
Mm,
but so that's one of the things. And I will eat like local organic meats. I have a different
okay.
view of that than I do of
Mm-hmm.
like the industrial meat complex. So so that's one of the things I've already given up. I guess that's a good example. Pat on.
Yeah.
Um, I think another thing I would really like. Oh, you know what? This is actually Ginny, our boss, Virginia Dorgan.
Mm-hmm.
Her thing that she is currently working on to give up is paper towels, uh,
Yeah,
which
that's a big
is
one.
a big one. And I could probably live without those, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it would be hard at first, right? But I think it's very much doable.
Yeah. And I am trying to now, every time I grocery shop, I'm trying to work personally. My thing is I'm working on plastics and reduction in like the plastics I'm using. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying now to bring my like reusable grocery shopping bag every time I grocery shop. And also I'm trying really hard, although it's not easy to like make all the meals I need at home. So like I'm
Oh,
not
yeah,
buying things in plastic containers and stuff. So
that's a struggle.
yeah, I'm gonna see what else. What else can I live without? I think those are big ones for me because they're like resources that we keep using and only really have a
Mm-hmm.
one-time use. I can't think of anything that I think I could like definitely right now also live without. Like I need my phone and my computer, just like
Of
split.
course.
But so I think those are like the big couple of things.
Huh. Well, I also like really admire that you're doing that because, one thing at a time too. Like,
Yeah.
let's start working on not staying, not living with paper towels first, and then we can transition into something else. If you're like trying to tackle everything, that will
Yeah.
just drive us
And
crazy
like
because we are.
I'm honestly not working on the paper towel thing right now. Like I will use paper towels whenever right now. But like I'm working on the plastics thing, you know. I
Yeah,
could
there you
live
go.
without paper towels is what I'm saying. So, and I think that also harkens back to our first question about like what gets you invested is I think you have to have
Hmm.
like a passion and an affinity for changing your
Definitely.
life in a way before you can actually execute it. So,
Yeah, yeah. Because it needs to be a deep want for it. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just not going to use paper towels today.
yeah.
Because soon enough, you're going to be questioning, wait, why am I not using paper towels?
Yeah.
That's just one example,
That's
but
really that's a good example. So,
yeah. Well, thanks
cool.
for this
Yeah.
discussion. It's very
Yeah,
enriching.
it's really fun, and I think they're good questions um, to consider for everyone. So thank you.
Yeah. And at the end, would you like to have any like last thing to say because we still have a little bit more time?
Last thing to say, um, I would just say like if you're watching this, um, just to be like I think it's good, really good to think positively. And I this is going to be really personal and kind of maybe weird, but I
Personal is always good.
I like to live my life by I'm not religious, but I like to live my life by the Serenity Prayer, which goes, Lord, give me the strength to change the things I cannot accept the things I cannot change, and have the wisdom to know the difference. And I think
Oh,
that
wow.
really applies to the environmental issue and climate change because we can't uproot our lives right now in this moment to
Hmm.
change the world. Like we can't do that. And I think we have to remember that it's incremental and that, don't take all the onerous, because it's really, the environmental issue is so daunting, so don't take all the onerous on yourself, but do try to make incremental changes in your life. And also, I would also encourage everyone to take some sort of political action, which is really the only way we can all change things. So, yeah, that's my final thought.
Baby steps,
Yeah,
right?
baby steps.
And that was a beautiful ending, by the way.
Yeah.
So thank you. Well, I hope you have a great rest of the day, and thank you again.
Okay.
I'll see you soon, Fiona. Bye.
Bye.